Welcome to the Hungaroring for the second round of the FIA Formula 3 European Championship 2016. We're just 20 minutes drive from Budapest, the Hungarian capital. None of the current field of drivers has ever been in a Formula 3 car on this track. Last time FIA F3 was here was back in 2014. And that should mean interesting races with the 20 drivers, especially as 9 of them are rookies this season. There's a little Formula 1 influence in the paddock this weekend with ex-F1 driver Karun Chandok supporting Arjun Maini.
I think Formula 3 is a great category. I think, I personally learned more as a driver driving an F3 car than anything else. And I think everybody, if you look at the history of motorsport, will say they really found it very educational.
Nico Kari from Finland is also getting some ex-F1 advice.
Well, it's great racing, always. The young guys, they try to improve the Formula 1 teams that they deserve the place there, and this is where it started for me also.
And the former F3 driver is back in the paddock in the form of Pietro Fittipaldi.
Yeah, so this year I'm racing a World Series, a 3.5 V8. I mean, it's a great car, and obviously last year coming from F3, I was able to learn a lot of tracks. The car obviously has a lot of downforce. I'd say the main difference of this car is just more horsepower.
After 3 podiums at the season opener in Le Castellet, Nick Cassidy comes to Hungary as the points leader.
Hey, I'm Nick Cassidy. I'm 21 years old, from New Zealand, and this year I'm competing with Permit Power Team. Well, I started when I was quite young in New Zealand in karting, as most do, and then when I was 14 I moved into cars before the Toyota Racing Series in New Zealand, which I won twice, and then made the move to Europe. So I did some Formula Renault before selected F3 outings, finished 3rd at Macau in 2014, which was a highlight for me, and then last year won the Japanese Formula 3 Championship, which has led me here. I've had some supporters back home who I'm very thankful to, but this year being supported by Permit Power Team, which is fantastic to have a great bunch of guys and girls behind me, and really enjoying it. When I was younger, I always looked up to Jason Richards. He was a New Zealander and very friendly guy, had time for everyone, well respected in the paddock in New Zealand and Australia, and yeah, a guy I'll always look up to. My favourite track looks to be Zandvoort, but I've never been there, so let's see.
Hello everyone, I'm Guan Yuzu from Ferrari Driver Academy, and I race Formula 3 with Team Motor Park. Now I'll show you an onboard lap of me around Hungaroring.
Here is the main straight. You have to prepare all the way to the left for the first corner. The first corner you have to really attack on the braking and get a late apex, hard on power for the good exit. Now in turn 2 is a downhill corner. You brake hard, but you have to release the brake to keep the balance for a late apex, because after it's uphill. Now come to the fastest corner of the circuit, the uphill corner. You go up to 215 km. To really cut a hot corner, because you have to keep inside track limit fighting with the car. Now the right-hander, again late apex and hard on power. Here's the favorite track, part of the circuit, the chicane. You brake late, use all 2 curbs, the inside and outside. Use all the track again on the exit. For the left, you prepare for a late apex for the next corner, for a good exit. Now we go to the right-hander. It's nearly a flat. You have to fight with the car. The next corner is a downhill corner. It's really easy to lock up on braking. Use the inside curb for the traction and use all the track on the exit. The second last corner is for a late apex. You hard on power for good traction. And the last corner, you really have to keep tight the whole corner with overlapping to have a good exit onto the straight. This was a lap of me, Guan Yuzu, in Hungaroring. I hope you guys enjoy it.
Time to go racing then, and the pole sitter for all three races at the Hungaroring is Germany's Maximilian Günther. Maxi Günther on pole, right of the screen. Also on row 1, high-tech Grand Prix George Russell. But as in Le Castellet, a poor start for poleman Günther, losing the lead to Russell before they even get to the braking area for the first corner. The brand new surface of the Hungaroring is relatively low grip and dusty. Everybody sweeps through turn 1. And there's no contact. Yellow flags are waved though. Callum Eilert has spun. As he bails out of the Van Amersfoort car, the safety car is scrambled for a couple of laps. Replay of the start, Premier cars first and third, but they're not first heading into corner 1. The team reacts as Günther loses the lead again. Restarting then, heading on to lap 3. George Russell leads, Maximilian Günther in second, and Ralph Aaron in third. Not only did he not make a great start, but Maxi Günther was to struggle with his tyres. 10 minutes later, he's down in 4th position. Number 16, Ralph Aaron, attacking George Russell for the lead of the race, nips through at the chicane. Prema Power Team happier with that. And number 1 car, Prema's Lance Stroll in 3rd place, trying to defend his podium spot under pressure from number 22, Joel Eriksson. Maxi Günther eased off as number 10, Nico Kari in the Red Bull car had a run at him. Nick Cassidy, the 2 car, under pressure from Sergio Sette Camara as they battle for 7th. Cassidy having to defend against Ryan Twitter, who locks up at the chicane, getting off the racing line where there is no grip. Camara gets through and back on the heels of Cassidy. Good close F3 racing on this very low grip, brand new surface. Barely starting to get rubbered in. Aaron leading, Russell and Stroll now battling for 2nd place in first turn. And George Russell starting to lose traction. Tyres going away from him. And he is holding up the group behind as Ralph Aaron clears off out front. Russell defending heavily, round the outside, Maxi Günther in the 17. In the middle, Alessio Lorandi in car number 4. Joel Eriksson, 22. Gets by George Russell. Lance Stroll has gone as well. Maxi Günther also passing the Brit. Camara in the pits and out of the race. Final lap of the race. Fastest lap for Joel Eriksson on the previous time round. Battle for 4th place. Lance Stroll, Maxi Günther right behind him. And a queue of cars lining up behind the Canadian. There's no question who's going to win this one. Ralph Aaron has a decent advantage. Nico Kari takes 2nd. And another Scandinavian, Joel Eriksson, is 3rd.
The start was really good. I got up to 2nd in the start and was fighting for positions in turn 2 as well. Then the pace was really good. I was behind Russell and I didn't want to ruin my tires too much because we expected the tires to go off quite soon. And Russell was pushing hard and he lost the tires. So I got past him and then managed to race the whole time.
Yeah, it was a really nice race to drive. Had big fights in there, but then in the end I managed to get past those guys and did quite a good run till the end. Then in the end I was a bit bad on the tires, they were gone, so Joel was catching me quite a lot, but I could keep the pace until then, so I think it was quite good.
I was saving the tires a bit. I kept my position, and then I know that I should be fast in the end, and then I was overtaking some guys, and I was in P3, and then I did the fastest lap, so I think it was working out really good.
So not only 3 northern nations, Estonia, Finland and Sweden, but 3 rookies on the podium as well. Lots more action to come from the Hungaroring. Trouble in turn 1. And trouble with the rain for Sunday. Second race weekend, the FIA Formula 3 European Championship. We're at the Hungaroring outside the Hungarian capital, Budapest, and a chance for the fans to meet the drivers at the autograph session and perhaps get the scribble of a future Formula 1 champion. A huge crowd of fans, 20 drivers, and the grid girls all adding a little bit of glamour.
Hi, I'm Mikkel Jensen, and I'm going to show you one of the most important things in my car, my steering wheel. So here's the downshift pedal to shift grounding gears, and here's the upshift pedal. Here's the radio button, which makes me communicate with the team, which is standing in the pit. While I'm racing around on the circuit, they want to give me information, so I can give them information about the car. Here's the pit speed limiter, which makes me limited to go 60 kilometers per hour through the pit lane, which is the maximum allowed. On the 2 black buttons here, we can switch through the pages to get different information on the steering wheel. Here we can see the last lap that we have been driving. You can see which gear you're in. You can see the water temperature or RPM. Or here you can get the gap of the lap you are doing right now to see if you're doing better or worse. Then we have the reverse button here to go in reverse gear if it's necessary. It's not really often that you use it. Actually, it's nearly never, but if you're parked somewhere where you need to use it, you can use it here. And then we have the multi button, which can reset my lap time. If I want to reset the things on my dashboard, I can press the multi button twice, and it's resetted that I have it from 0 and not looking to previous lap times. This was my steering wheel, a really important thing in my car. Keep fingers crossed for my races this weekend.
Not going to be an easy weekend for the Scandinavian though, starting from row 6 in race 2. Another man from the frozen north has famous support, Nico Kari from Finland.
Yeah, he did our SMP for North European Zone Championship last year, and he won the championship quite easily in the end. And I know he's really good, and he's only 16 years old, and he's a great guy, so I hope he do well again. He had a P2 in the first race, and this one will be a bit more difficult.
Start of the second race of the weekend. On the right on pole, Maxi Gunter. On the left side, race 1 winner Ralph Aaron. This time though, Maxi Gunter makes no mistakes. He gets a good getaway. Heading down to the first turn, looks as though he's going to be in a comfortable lead. Little lock-up as he drifts offline. Trouble though in the middle of the field. Nico Kari touches Sergio Sette Camara into a spin, and he will get a drop of 2 grid positions as a penalty. Gunter leading, Ralph Aaron. Meanwhile, George Russell holding up the field. Little lock-up with Guangyang Zhu right behind him. Zhu in car number 23 tries to go round the outside. And they're being shadowed by the Red Bull car of Camara. Russell clinging on. Trouble for Joel Eriksson, loose front wing. He's in the pits and out of the race. Midway through, Guangyang Zhu having another go at George Russell. Dives to the inside in turn 1. Nice clean pass for third. And Russell tries to counter immediately. Down to turn 2, but there's no grip offline at all. And Zhu has the inside. Further back, Kamara dives inside Alessio Lorandi for 5th. And then trouble, Nikita Mazepin hits Pedro Piquet. 5-place grid drop for Mazepin, who was banned from race 1 after thumping Callum Ilott in the paddock after qualifying. Not a good weekend for the hot-headed Russian. Mikkel Jensen defending 7th place. Lance Stroll right behind him in the queue of cars. Last corner for Maxi Günther. An easy lights to flag victory. This one his 2nd win in 2016. And it's a 1-2 for Prema Power Team. Race on winner Ralph Aaron in 2nd ahead of Guan Yu Zhu. So Prema claiming a 1-2. George Russell in 4th position ahead of Kamara and Lorandi.
Today is the 50th birthday of my mother. So yeah, I hope it's a good one for her today with the victory. And yeah, as you said, the start was good, and then we managed very well at the top. In the end, we needed to push a bit more because the motorpark guys came from behind. But yeah, I think the race was always under control, and we had a clean 1-2 finish.
We have to be happy with that result. I'm happy. The team did a great job. Maxi won the race. I was 2nd, so it's really good for the team. Really valuable points.
The race pace was good. I mean, the track is really hard to overtake. Behind George, I lose a lot of time, but in the end, I finally get overtake him. He's a really experienced driver, so I'm happy with podium again. Yeah.
Well, 2nd podium for Guan Yu Zhu after his 1st at Le Castellet, but it's Maxi Günther who leads the points comfortably with 1 race to go. And Sunday brings vile weather and trying times for the Formula 3 drivers. FIA Formula 3 at the Hungaroring 2nd race weekend, but the weather has totally changed on Sunday. Instead of 20 degrees and sun, it's 7 degrees and rain. Not at all pleasant for anyone. One of the things that drivers will have to learn is that they must accept whatever the weather throws at them. There's no point in complaining.
It is a particularly tough situation for them because this tarmac appears to be extremely slippery and they never had any wet practice. I think they have to, in the first laps, to feel the grip and slowly start to push and find the good spots on the track. But it's they have all my sympathy because it's not easy. But this is good, you know, when things are not easy, when you do well, then it's very rewarding.
Safety reasons, they will start behind the safety car, allowing the drivers to try and discover where there may or may not be some grip. Clearly very little away from the grid. Poleman again, Maxi Günther. On the outside of the front row is Sergio Sette Camara, and they will be the very first to discover what the grip is or isn't like at racing speed. After 2 laps, the safety car pulls in. No standing start. They will be released to go as they hit the green flags. Maxi Günther controls the pace of the field as they head towards the start line, and the race is underway. Kamara in 2nd, George Russell in 3rd. Guan Yu Zhu pulls out of the spray to try and find some visibility. It's going to be hard to see where the corner is and even harder to guess where the grip is. Günther leads, Kamara and Russell 2nd and 3rd. Everybody else struggling for grip. Callum Ilott looking around the outside in turn 1, trying to make up some places. George Russell in 2nd place, all over the back of the leader after Kamara drifted out wide. Replay of Maxi Günther missing the apex by miles and running out wide at 11, just staying in front of Russell. But the battle is on. Russell biding his time, looking for somewhere to attack to the inside. But there's contact and they're both off. Günther heavily into the barriers. Russell has the lead, but broken suspension will put him out immediately. And as he struggles to find out what's going on with his car, Ben Barnicoat is closing in from behind. But for the top two, it's all done.
I saw him coming closer, and yeah, then he just attacked in a corner where you normally in the rain cannot overtake, and he dived inside, didn't get the corner, went completely straight, and yeah, I could do nothing to avoid the accident. So for me, yeah, quite a simple mistake.
It was through turn 11. My line every lap was tight and his line every lap was wide, so I knew, okay, if I make my normal line and he does his normal line, I can overtake. Through turn 9, he made a bit of a mistake and got a very poor exit, and I was the opposite. I made a very good exit through turn 10, just behind, and I made my normal line through turn 11, up the inside of him, and he made it slightly more difficult for me. He went a bit tighter, and yeah, we touched, but in my view, I was completely alongside him, in full control.
Well, the stewards decided that George Russell was at fault and dropped him 3 grid spots for the next race. Little harsh decision. So safety car back out for clear up. Ben Barnicoat with the lead from Joel Eriksson and Guangzhou Yu. And as they take the restart, Barnicoat once more, the leader, controlling the pace of the field. Back to green flag racing, and Zhu missing his braking point at turn 4, drifts out wide. Lance Stroll goes through for 3rd. But clearing off quickly is Ben Barnicoat, the rookie heading to victory and a first win for High-Tech Grand Prix in 2016. Joel Eriksson takes 2nd spot with Lance Stroll in 3rd. Ben Barnicoat clearly delighted to triumph in the rain.
So I just didn't look in the mirrors, focused on the job, and yeah, it was an amazing race. Just so happy. Massive thank you to High Tech and Racing Steps Foundation. It's the best day of my life.
Gunther and Russell crashed into each other. It was quite lucky for us, but the race overall was really good for me. The pace was really good.
I think what's important is we finished the weekend off strong. We managed to, even in the worst weekend so far, we managed to still come out with only a few points behind in the championship. And yeah, now we have to go to Po and do a better qualifying and get more points.
So as they leave the Hungaroring, Maxi Gunther by 4 from Lance Stroll, with Joel Eriksson, Nick Cassidy, Ralph Aaron and everybody else hot on their heels. And that's it from the Hungaroring. Hoping that for one of the season's highlights, the Po Grand Prix, the weather is a little better in 3 weeks' time.